Yes, I know. I am very late to making this one. In fact, tonight is Saturday, October 14th at 10:43 p.m. That's how late I am to filming my Week 6 predictions of the NFL. It's been a long week, let's just say that. I haven't really been keeping up with my channel for this week. But, it's this late. I missed Thursday Night Football. I can't include that on my predictions because I already know who won, which if you don't know, like my Patrick Mahomes jersey, I would have bet on the Chiefs anyway, so technically I already won that one. We're going to count it. I'm going to count it because I already had in my notes that I did that. I already had my notes, and so I'm not going to just redo the whole thing and knock me off a win just because I've been so behind. Yes, it's Week 6. We're going to do our predictions for Week 6 at 11 o'clock on Saturday night. The next game is almost 9.5 hours away. It's been a long week. Stay tuned for on my main channel. I also have a bunch of other videos coming up. Like after this, I'm going to film begin my Saw review series finally because I'm just so behind. So Ravens and Titans. We're going to go ahead and get started. Subscribe, by the way. I didn't do my normal intro. So go ahead and subscribe. So the Ravens and the Titans are going to start out in London tomorrow morning. Ravens had a devastating loss last week against the Steelers. Nobody thought that was coming. Ravens were doing great, and then the moment that my friend Avery needed Lamar Jackson to do something good in his fantasy league to beat my brother, who was 0-4 at the time, he did nothing and got my brother's first win. So shout out to him, I guess. But Lamar Jackson, he's really hit or miss. I mean, he was really missed last week. I'm not really sure what to think of him. The Titans, they also lost against the Colts. The Gardner Minshew Colts. So that's kind of a shocker there. Neither of these teams are great. The Ravens aren't the best team. They always have their problems, like I thought. But they're not bad either. While the Titans, you all know they're my least favorite NFL team, but they're not. I wouldn't go as far to say that they're a good team this year, not only because of my hatred for them, but because I do not think that they are a good team. So I'm going Ravens will take the London game, even though I'm really nervous for both of these teams the rest of the year. Happy nervous for the Titans because I really want them to fail. Bad nervous for the Ravens because I really like the Ravens and I really feel like I'm really just nervous for them for the rest of the year. The Washington Commanders or the Redskins or whatever you want me to call them versus the Falcons. The one time I didn't want the Falcons to win this year was last week against the Houston Texans because I like C.J. Stroud. All of a sudden, I think C.J. Stroud is that guy. He is that draft pick that everybody wanted, and so I think he's starting to do great. And the Falcons had a great offense. Last couple weeks before that, they had terrible offense to become 2-2, 3-2. And that's a pretty good record to go by. Meanwhile, the Commanders started out 2-0. They lost 3 in a row. They lost against the Bears, gave the Bears their first win. Their offense has not been looking good. They played good football against the Eagles, but so far against the Falcons, I don't think that the Commanders are going to really do anything. While the Falcons, they're more of a hit or miss team this year. Either their offense can have a great show or they can have a miserable show. And it all depends on who they're playing. I think that they're going to have a solid enough show against the Commanders. I don't think that the Commanders or the Redskins or whatever, I don't really think that they're that great of a team. I really hope they turn things around. I really do. But losing against the Bears, it's a pretty low blow. I think I'm going to go Falcons with them. The Vikings and the Bears. Toilet Bowl. This is not Dolphins. Broncos and Bears 2.0. They're playing the Vikings. And that sucks because the Vikings are my second favorite team. They are my favorite NFC team. And so hearing that they're playing the Bears and the Bears got a good shot at winning them makes me want to throw my phone across the room and punch the camera in the face and it kind of makes me mad knowing that Minnesota is playing the Bears and the Bears probably got a better win percentage of them. The Vikings lost against the Chiefs, like expected. The weeks before that, they were good, but they fumbled it a lot. And they're still fumbling a lot. They are still doing the same crap they always do. The Minnesota Vikings constantly fumbling the ball. And that's what's really dragging them down, is they just can't hold on to the ball. They have a talented team. I think a lot of their rookies this year are really good. And now, on top of the fact that they can't hold on to a freaking football, they don't have their best wide receiver. Justin Jefferson is out for 5 to 7 weeks. They're out their top wide receiver. They're one of the worst teams in the league. They're out their top wide receiver. Kirk Cousins is not going to be able to hold this team on his own. And going with the Bears, they had a great offensive performance. I think they had a great offensive performance last week, or the week before that, against the Broncos. The thing is, they just can't catch a win because they really failed. And so their offense is really solid, honestly, and they're playing a devastating Vikings team. The defense isn't very good on the Vikings. I'm predicting that the Bears take their second win, and that's going to be shocking. I would be pleased if the Vikings won. I'm a massive Vikings fan, and in case you can't tell, I'm a big Chiefs fan, but I like the Vikings, and I'll watch every single Vikings game, and so I really hope that they beat the Bears. But the odds, every single time, they're going down and down and down and down, and it's not looking good for them to play the Bears. And if we lose against the Bears, even though I think the Bears are going to win, I'm probably just going to stop watching them play the rest of the year because they're going to suck. Seattle and Cincinnati. Joe Burrow, where have you been, man? Where has he been? Because last week was the first week that the Cincinnati Bengals looked like the Cincinnati Bengals. The rest of the year, they sucked. They were sucking. Even their win against the Rams sucked. They did not play good. Now they're playing great. They played great last week against the Cardinals. Jamar Chase had a massive game the week I traded him off, and he got 52 points. But you know what? That doesn't really matter. The offense, I do think, is back, and I have a slight hope that they're going to do great. And they're playing against the Seahawks team, who has a better defense. They got 11 sacks against the Giants. That is the Giants, but they still got 11 sacks on them. And they are playing great football. The offense is looking great. But if the Bengals are finally coming back, I really don't know who to bet on this game. This is going to be a great game if the Bengals return. I'm still cautiously nervous. I still don't think that the Bengals are going to be as fully great as they were. I'm still very nervous to see what they're going to do. But I'm going to take a waiver, and I'm going to put the Bengals on this one. I think that the Bengals have a pretty big chance of beating the Seattle Seahawks. Coming off a bye week for the Seahawks, I do think that they have a great team, but they're not the best team. They're not the Bengals when they're on. If the Bengals are on, the Bengals have taken the win here. There's no doubt in the world on that. The only two undefeated teams versus the 2-2 Cleveland Browns. Of course, one of the only undefeated teams are the San Francisco 49ers with Brock the Laser Purdy. I'm calling him Brock the Laser Purdy because that's a cool name. Holy crap. Holy crap. This is a team. That is a team. Brock Purdy once again proved that he's not just joking around, only playing bad teams and doing good. He annihilated the Dallas Cowboys defense. So in a way, screw you, Brock Purdy, because I have the Dallas Cowboys defense. And if they got, let's say, more than 0 points, I would have won last week, but I didn't, so thanks a lot. But they are a great team. McCaffrey is great. Purdy is great. Kittle is looking great. Debo and Brandon Ayuk, they're having their off days kind of, but they're still great. This whole team, I wouldn't be surprised if they go 16-0 or 17-0 or however many games you play. I think that they are going to be the best in the league for the rest of the year because they are just a phenomenal team and awesome to watch play. Thing is, I had Brock Purdy on my fantasy league, and I played Patrick Mahomes this week, who only got 18 points. So if I lose to my brother, who's 1-4 and still the worst team in the league, I will be super mad. But there's no way the Niners are going to lose to the Browns, right? The Browns are the Browns. They're not good. They're still not a good team. I genuinely don't think. The 1 week they played football without Nicholas Chubb, they were terrible. And they lost Nick Chubb for the season. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland didn't win another game the rest of the year. And they're not going to start switching that around against the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco is going to be 6-0. New Orleans and Houston. Houston is a team that I really am all of a sudden starting to like. I feel like C.J. Stroud really is starting to be that guy, and he's playing great football. Every time I watch him, he's thrilling to watch. Now they're playing the New Orleans Saints, who they've gotten wins, but I think all 3 of their wins so far this season have been nasty. It was within a real close game. And that didn't switch last week. Do I think it's going to switch against the Texans? No. I don't even think that they're going to beat the Texans. The Texans are looking like that team, dude. They barely lost against the Falcons. Sure, they got a rookie quarterback, but they're playing the Saints with Derek Carr, who, all respect to him, is not that great. He's still pretty good, but he's not that great. And so now you have the Houston Texans, who I think are going to rise up against a struggling New Orleans Saints team. And I think this is a perfect opportunity to bring the Texans to 3-3, and that's why I'm predicting them to win. The Indianapolis Colts, without Anthony Richardson, mind you, versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville has showed up in London the last 2 weeks. They've absolutely started playing great football. And now, welcome back to Jacksonville. You guys aren't home anymore. You guys are the away team. Of course, even though you are home this game, you're still the away team because you're not in London, and I don't think you play great football in London. The first couple of games this year have really struggled. Do I really think that they're going to continue their streak that they did in London? Maybe, but maybe not at the same time. They're playing the Indianapolis Colts, who's a great team. If you think about this, Gardner Minshew has been playing better than Anthony Richardson. Both quarterbacks have been playing great all year. Here's the thing for the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson gets injured way too much, and then in comes Gardner Minshew, which makes the perfect back-to-back double combo because Gardner Minshew is playing a great football season, and he's having his first full start here against this Jacksonville Jaguars defense, who is solid enough. They did shut out the Bills last week, which is really impressive. But this is going to be a tough game for both of them because they did play once this year. Jacksonville did win. But I'm also very nervous, and I wouldn't be surprised if either of these teams come across as victors. Right now, I think I'm going to go Jacksonville, though. I think my predictions would be better if I go Jacksonville, mainly because Jacksonville has been proving themselves more and more, while I think the Indianapolis Colts still have a struggling just a little bit. They're not as great as we're predicting them to be. They're not doing bad either, though. But, I mean, still, I do think that Jacksonville will keep it on. I will be thrilled, though, if the Colts pull this off. I mean, I really can't wait for Richardson to come back. But if Richardson was here, I would go Colts on this one. But he's not. And Gardner Minshew, do I really think he gets to sustain a whole game? Not really, but I really hope he does. The 0-5 Panthers, the last team in the league, the worst team in the league, versus the 4-1, one of the best team in the league, Miami Dolphins. We can skip this game. The Dolphins are going to drop 80 on them. They're going to do worse than the Broncos. Probably not. The Panthers are better than the Broncos by a long shot, but the Dolphins got a great offense. The Bills did have a great defense, and they did a really great job at shutting them out in the week they played. But then they come against another bad team, the New York Giants, and absolutely annihilate them. They get a lot of points. They do absolutely great offense. They have speed. And so now they're playing the Carolina Panthers, who is a struggling defense, and they're not doing too great this year. I don't think that the Dolphins are really going to let up. Bryce Young. Bryce Young is the quarterback's name, Zach. Just remember that. He's not the best like a lot of people predict him to be. And so I don't think that Tua and the Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are going to let this, especially against a struggling Panthers defense, I don't think that the offense is going to let up. Even if they let the offense for the Carolina Panthers, which are not, do something good, I still think that the Dolphins are going to have an absolute massive game. My personal worst team in the league right now, the New England Patriots versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas pulled I don't even know what you want to call last Monday. If you want to call that an upset or just a nasty defeat, or I don't know. The point is that the Raiders beat the Packers and held Romeo Doubs to one catch, who only got me 1 point, and if he got more than 1 point, I would have won the game. But he didn't, and I lost. So thanks a lot for that. But the Raiders, they're not a bad team. They're not a necessarily good team, but they're not a bad team. They've just been having some bad luck so far. You know what I'm saying? Now they're playing the New England Patriots, who are one of the worst teams in the league. Mac Jones had 3 points the last 2 games. That's all he had against the Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints. He had 3 points against them. And so I 100% don't think that the Patriots are going to win a single other game this year until they turn things around. I mean, if Hunter Henry also had more than 0 catches, I would have won the game. So thanks for that, Mac Jones and Hunter Henry. I really appreciated that. But this offense is just really struggling. No matter how good the defense is, the offense cannot get points on the board. And playing this Raiders team, I think the Raiders have a pretty big chance to go 3-3 this week. I looked at the schedule, and I think they got a pretty good schedule. So I'm predicting that the Raiders are going to win this one. Our second undefeated team versus the New York Jets. The Eagles versus the Jets. The Jets have been playing great football the last 2 weeks against the Denver Broncos. Of course, they're going to win because it's the Denver Broncos. And then they almost beat the Chiefs. And a lot of people are going to say, they did beat the Chiefs. It was just the refs. Sure. Believe whatever you want. But they're playing the Eagles this week. And the Eagles are 5-0. They're having a great season. They only, almost was a really close game in 1 week. That is it. The Eagles are just running off with everything. Doing great. Devonta Smith is doing okay. Jalen Hurts is doing great. This whole team is a team that when they play San Francisco, I will be hyped to watch because that will be a great game. If both teams are undefeated, that is going to be a fantastic game. And now they're playing the New York Jets, and I do think they're going to walk all over the Jets. Though the Jets might pull a surprise. Zach Wilson's been playing good football. And, Jason Kelce is on the Eagles, and if Donna Kelsey's in the stands, I would bet on the Jets. But, I don't know. It's Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. I'm going Eagles to go 6-0, and unfortunately for the Jets, 2-4. Actually, no, we got 2 more. We got the Cardinals and the Rams. The Cardinals, they are disappointing me because they had a good week against the Cowboys and they played decent football, but last week they did not play good football against the Bengals at all and got absolutely destroyed and are starting to look like the old Cardinals. Now they're playing the Rams, who are they have a terrible schedule, man. They have a really rough schedule. And when I said I think that the Rams are going to be good this year, they are having a tough schedule, and it's kind of hard to do good on a tough schedule. So now they're playing the Cardinals, and I do think that they're going to walk all over the Cardinals. Puka Nacua is having a year. You got Cooper Kupp back. Kyren Williams is doing great. Their quarterback, Matthew Stafford, is okay this year. I do think that the Rams are going to completely turn it around in this game, become 3-3, and unfortunately for the Cardinals, become 1-5. Which is really sad because I really was wishing that the Cardinals did something this year, and it doesn't look like they're going to do so. Lions and Buccaneers, our final 325 game we're going to talk about. The Bucs, they had a bye week, but they're a great team. Baker Mayfield is really leading this team. They've had a cushioned schedule a little bit, and the Lions are going to be a real challenge. But I do think that this team is great. They did lose Mike Evans, but now they got Chris Godwin, who will really step up. Please, Lord Jesus, I just added him on my fantasy team today, and if he does bad, I'm going to drop him instantly and probably drop my whole team if I lose to the worst team in the league. But it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, and they're a good team. They really are a surprise team of the year, especially with Baker Mayfield. I got a Baker Mayfield figurine over there, and he's in the Browns uniform, but I'm really hoping he does good on the Bucs. Meanwhile, they're playing the Detroit Lions, and unfortunately for the Bucs, I'm sorry, the Detroit Lions are going to kill them. The Detroit Lions are one of the best teams in the league, which is incredibly shocking to say because it's the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions, ever since I was born to this very moment, I don't remember a single year where they were considered a good team until this year. And so it's very surprising that the Giants, with Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, a surprisingly good offense and defense, are good. And I don't think that they're going to slow down against the Buccaneers. And so unfortunately for Mayfield and a pretty good Buccaneers team, this is going to be a great match, but I think that the Lions are going to take the lead in this one and eventually take the win and be 5-1. 2 more games to talk about. Good, because it's 11:03, and I am tired. The Giants and the Bills. The Buffalo Bills issued a big loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars last week, which is huge for Jacksonville, even though we pretty much knew Jacksonville would win because it was in London. But that doesn't mean that the team didn't play good. Josh Allen played good. Stephon Diggs played good. The whole team is a great team, and they were playing great football last week, even though it was a loss, and a whole heck of a lot of flags. And they're playing against the Giants, who the Seahawks sacked 11 times. There's no way that they lose, is there? There is no way on the face of the earth that the Bills lose to the Giants, right? I'd be thrilled if they lost. I do not like the Bills. I like the Giants. But there's no way that the Bills squad, who was doing great until last week, they had a bit of a letdown. They're going to come back firing on all squads. Kind of like the Dolphins last week when they lost against the Bills, and now they're going to come back firing on all squads. There's no way that they lose the game. This is a win 100% for the Bills against the Giants, and unfortunately for the Giants, they become one of the worst teams in the league, like they already are. And Monday Night Football, which is going to be a great game. We got the Cowboys coming off against, right after the bye week, the Los Angeles Chargers, not Vegas. Vegas is the Raiders, not Oakland, like I said probably earlier in the video. The Dallas Cowboys are a hit-or-miss team for me. They played one good team, which is the Niners, and they got killed. Playing against another solid, I think really solid Chargers team, they might also get killed. I think the Chargers have a pretty big chance. Do I hope that the Dallas Cowboys defense does great? Yes, I do. Do I hope that their offense does great? Yes, I do. But do I think that they're going to get the win? Not really. I think I'm going to pull up an upset. For my upset of the week, I'm going to go with the Chargers. I really don't think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to beat the Chargers on Monday Night Football, especially after they've been playing. I think that the Cowboys have a chance to even completely miss the playoffs. They have not been playing good. On the other hand, I would be thrilled if they shut them out, because then the defense would get a whole lot of points for me. But I definitely think the Chargers are going to win this one. All right, that was my really late Week 6 predictions, 11:05 on Saturday. I'm sorry, I normally get these out way before, but I won't. So onward to go film my Saw review series for my main channel and edit this before 2:30 in the morning. I'm going on vacation, so I'll be gone for 3 days. I'm going to try to film a couple more videos, try to get them edited while I'm there for you guys. But if I forget to, I'm sorry. But thank you guys for clicking on this video. Let me know your predictions down below in the comment section. And with that said, subscribe to the Nerd Army. Peace out.